The following is a paid advertisement. The content shared does not reflect the beliefs or opinions of Three Eagles Communications, Headwaters Media, or Heart of the Rockies radio management or staff.
Hi, welcome to the Living in Salida podcast. I'm your host, Monica McCarthy, a realtor that specializes in Salida and surrounding areas. Today, we're going to talk about art in Salida with one of our very own artists, Miss Katie Maher. She is an artist in Salida with a studio in the heart of downtown, right on F Street. She's a tattoo artist turned painter with a unique style of art that she calls fractured. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more. In addition to her gallery in Salida, she's had her work in a gallery in Breckenridge and also offers her work on limited edition metal prints. She's involved in the art community in Salida, is a recent homeowner here, and is just a fun, vibrant person in our community. Thank you for chatting with me today.
I'm thrilled. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I have people on, this podcast is about Salida. So everybody has their unique story, unless you were born here. That's a unique story too. But how did you get here? You weren't born here. Tell us your origin story of Salida.
Threw a dart at a map of Colorado, got a cabin in the woods in Almont. It's up there by Crested Butte. And I wanted to be an artist in the woods. Dang it.
Okay. So wait, back up for a second. You dart, like literally, you're not just,
nope,
that's like what people say. So, yeah. But there's not all woods in Colorado. So you had a whole map of Colorado.
Yeah, it actually hit Almont.
Okay.
So that's
and
where
you
we went.
knew if it would have hit the heart of Denver, you would have done that too?
Yeah.
Okay. You just said you wanted to do woods, so I didn't know how you blocked off your map.
Yeah, we would have gone just outside of Denver.
Okay.
Closest thing to it.
Okay, so that's Almont. That's over near Crested Butte, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a beautiful place to start.
It is.
Okay, so where were you before?
I came out from Iowa City.
Okay.
Grew up, went to college there. Just needed to do something new.
Okay.
And so came out here thinking I would spend 3 months painting and never left.
Okay, so the dart was just to paint for a short time. It wasn't to live forever. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that feels, I guess, less risky.
Crazy.
Yeah, but also really bold. So you came out, when was this?
2008.
2008, okay. And how long were you over there? Is that Gunnison Valley? What's the Gunnison County? Yeah.
So I was there for about 3 years. One of the local artists had a tattoo shop.
Okay.
And he taught me how to tattoo.
Okay. And you had an art background before that?
I went to the University of Iowa for graphic design, psychology, and business, of all things.
Okay. Okay. So, that sets you up for having a successful art business, right?
It did. It did. Surprisingly, yes.
Business is important as the other side of the token, right? When you're producing art. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So you ended up in Colorado from this magical dart. And then so that explains how you got it to this area. But then what about Salida? Just over the mountain pass, but
this has a coin flip in it.
Okay. Wow.
So I learned a tattoo over there, wanted either to come to Salida and open my own tattoo shop or go to San Diego and paint surfboards with a friend. And I couldn't decide, and I flipped a coin, and I came over here.
Okay. Was it one of those coin flips where it's like heads is one, tails is the other, but then you go with the one that feels most exciting, even if you don't flip it correctly? Do you know what I mean? Like if you get heads and you're like, oh, I wish it wouldn't have been heads. So you go with tails.
I thought that was going to happen, but it was against my gut check. I thought because the tattoo shop's going to be harder. Okay. The surfboard situation was already set up for me. It would be just showing up.
Okay.
But when it said tattoo shop, I thought, you know what? Do the hard thing.
Okay. So what was the opportunity here then? I mean, did you pull it out of nothing, or was there something kind of already set up here?
I didn't know anyone here.
Okay.
I got a job at Moonlight Pizza for 3 months and lived in my car trying to find a place to set up and make it happen. So there was zero.
But why Salida then to open this shop?
Warmer than Gunnison.
Okay, so it was just a weather-related desire.
It's close.
Did you come to Salida much before that to explore? Because there's other warmer places, like San Diego.
True. I had been here once, but all my friends live in Gunnison. I didn't want to go too far.
Okay. Because at that point, you've been there for about 3 years, so you kind of had to establish some relationships and stuff. Okay. But you just didn't, you wanted to be on the warmer side of the mountain pass.
And now they all live here.
Oh, nice. I mean, it is warmer. It's amazing. It's the same elevation, but it's a world of difference
night
in the
and
wintertime.
day. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you visit Salida a whole lot before you did this flip?
I showed up in February and was car camping and just went all in.
Wow. That's kind of how you live your life, it sounds like. I don't even know you that well, but it sounds like you have some decisions of chance.
Impulsivity could be my middle name.
Okay. What's another example that I haven't even touched on yet? Impulsivity. I like it.
Oh, dear. There's so many.
Okay. Well, Salida. So you liked the weather. Anything else about this area?
I like the community. I call it Slow Lida.
Oh.
When I got here, I did demographics to see if a tattoo shop would work.
Oh, okay.
And
so you did some business.
A lot of retirees. Okay. A lot of just relaxed going on here. And I like the vibe.
Yeah, it does have a really good vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely a vibe to it. And so you were drawn to the vibe. And what else do you like to do here then?
Oh, I mountain bike. I play in the river in all different ways. Not anything seriously. I'm still scared of swift water, whitewater, all that.
That's fair.
But mountain biking, hiking, just appreciating the beauty all around us. Iowa's so flat and boring and everything.
Yeah.
It still shocks me. I've been out here for 15 years and I just can't get over it.
I know. I feel like you don't, I mean, I've been asked if the views, if you get used to them, what do you think?
I don't.
You don't get used to them. You can still kind of pause and
every
be
day.
taken aback.
Yeah. Every day. Like, wow, look at that.
It's amazing. Is that why the map that you threw the dart at was of Colorado and not all of the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Terrain.
Gotcha. Because are you more into the outdoors then?
I wasn't before I moved here. I was a full-on city kid. I'd never been camping. I'd never been hiking. Didn't understand outdoors whatsoever. So this was exciting.
You just kind of figured it out then?
Yeah, I had lots of friends into it. So they held my hand.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I like the way you live your life. It's inspiring. Well, so let's talk a little bit more about your art career. So you didn't have any tattoo experience when you went to Alma? Is that what you said?
I did not, no.
Okay, so why was that the place that you chose and not, any other type of art?
That's a great question. I don't know if I really wanted to tattoo. I was looking for a venue. I had some shows in Crested Butte for my normal mountains and magpies subjects.
Okay.
And I had some stranger stuff. It looked more like Salvador Dali meets Disney.
Okay.
And so I needed a place to hang that stuff.
Okay.
And I went to a tattoo shop. And the guy was like, you got to try this. And I was like, gross, no. But I tried it and it was incredibly fun. It made art social. So,
and permanent.
Yeah.
I bet, right? Did you have tattoos before that? Were you into that scene?
Not really. I had one other art show at a tattoo shop and ended up trading a painting for a tattoo that I didn't really want. but somebody wanted a painting, so we traded.
Wow, that was kind of you.
Impulsive.
Hopefully they still have your painting.
I think they do.
That's good. So you traded, and then so you were kind of dabbling in that scene, and then you decided. So did you stop painting to become a tattoo artist? Was it one or the other, or were you kind of still doing both?
I did a little bit of both, but
okay.
It's mostly one or the other for me.
Okay. So you went all in on tattoos for about 3 years and then thought you'd open a tattoo shop in Salida, but you didn't. right?
I did.
You did? Oh,
I
sorry.
did. It was called Tightrope Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
And it was here from 2011 to 18 or so.
Oh, you're right. I missed that part. Okay. And then you became a painter here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me that story. How did you transition from tattoos to painting?
Well, we can blame Carl Ortman for this. He had a gallery downtown, and my tattoo shop, for my first year anyway, butted up to his gallery.
Okay.
And so we would have coffee, we would talk, I would see what he was doing, and one day he invited me to paint with him, and I thought, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And so I just started showing up more and more and more, and he showed me how fun and easy this business model is if you're willing to show up and do it every day.
Yeah.
And never lose enthusiasm, and I haven't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. So it's funny, I talked with Michael Clark, one of my earlier episodes for this podcast, and he mentioned Carl Ortman as well as somebody who, embraced him with open arms into this art community here. It sounds like, so talk a little bit more about the art community and, how you, so obviously Carl Ortman, but anybody else, or, what has your experience been with that?
All of them. Josh Bean. I mean, it's this unique situation where the artists here seem to understand that the more of us there are, the better we all do collectively.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel competitive in any way.
Yeah.
One day Josh Bean said to me, if you don't go get a gallery right now, I'm never going to speak to you again. Like, you're ready to do this. You need to transition from doing whatever you're doing at that tattoo shop. You need to go be a real artist, he said. And I don't agree with that in any way. That tattooing isn't real art, but hopefully I'm misquoting him there. Hopefully I just remember it that way. Sure. But he was harsh. And
it had an impact, it sounds like.
It did. I went and found a spot and went for it.
And when was that?
That was, about 8 years ago.
Okay. And so I think you've jumped around a few different locations, right? Or
the gallery's been in one spot.
It has been in one spot.
Yeah.
And so that was 2011? No.
That was the tattoo shop.
Tattoo shop. Okay.
Yep.
Look at me getting all jumbled up here. 8 years ago. Sorry. So let's talk a little bit about the type of art you do. It's called fractured art, and so it's very unique, your style. I mean, you got to check out her work online. We'll plug it's KatieMaherFineArt.com. We'll talk. Well, that will be in the show notes. But really cool work. Tell me a little bit about what that means.
The word fractured.
The word fractured, and where it came from for you.
So I think I'm just overdrawing everything with paint. I didn't know how to paint. I love to draw. I think I'm just drawing, and something strange starts to happen when you chop things up into geometric shapes and flip warm and cold colors. It sort of starts to vibrate in your vision and look like it's moving.
Okay.
So I recently learned from one of the eye doctors in town that I have this vision disorder called accommodative lag. And it basically means that everything sort of looks like it's moving, like liquidy, like depth perception is weird.
Oh, interesting.
And I just thought that was normal. I just thought everybody saw things like that. And apparently they don't.
Okay.
And so I think what I'm trying to do with these paintings is mimic how I see things.
Yeah.
Make you unable to focus on it, and your eyes bounce around. It looks like it's moving.
Wow. How long ago did you find out about that eye disorder?
About 5 years.
So this was well after you were already painting like that.
Yeah. It was sort of mind blowing.
Was that validating or?
Very.
Okay.
Very. It was like, that's why I couldn't play softball, and my vision blurs out when I read and weird things.
Huh.
He explained all of it to me, and it's like, wow, I'm playing to my weakness.
You are. How amazing.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. It is. So you're not a softball pro, but you're an amazing artist. So take it, right?
I will take that.
Wow. That's really cool. Let's see. What else is I gonna... So I know one thing, You have I was reading your website today and you have some blogs in there. And you were talking about just some tips for somebody who's painting or creating anything and trying to stay motivated and stuff like that. And one of the topics you were talking about was selling their art. So, keeping the mindset, you're looking at me like, what? You wrote it a few years ago, so maybe you don't even remember. But she's got some cool blogs in there. I like your written voice as well. But you talk about kind of staying to yourself, and you said, unless you paint for you, it will be inauthentic. What do you want to hang on your wall? It's your job as the professional to give people what they don't know they needed, to cause aesthetic arrest in them at seeing the unexpected. I liked that. Because you're not creating, what you think people would want to have on your wall, what you like, which I think is a really cool flip to, I think, what many people would presume when they're creating something.
That's the safety.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you stay with that as an artist every day?
I think about, what would I want in my house? How does this feel?
Okay.
What is this going to add to a space? If I'm not excited about it, if I'm not in love with what I'm doing, it's just going to be a technical something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to have that feeling behind it that I think people are looking for.
Okay.
And I don't know what other people see when they look at my art.
Sure.
So,
well, clearly, right? Literally.
I think what they respond to is how I feel when I make these.
Yeah.
So I show up every day like an athlete. I get in a good mood. I listen to fun music. I perform for myself and make it really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then the outcome is going to be exciting to others.
Yeah. So can you tell the difference, like when you're in a blah mood versus when you're in that zone in terms of how you're
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I walk away.
Yeah,
absolutely. If I make something and I'm not excited about it, I'm just going through the motions, I'm trying to get it done, the result is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
So I walk away. I don't have hours at the gallery for this reason.
Okay.
I'm there every day trying to paint as fast as I possibly can.
Wow.
But if I don't want to put not great attitude into a painting, that's going to go in somebody's home.
Yeah.
I'm spreading vibes.
Yeah. So
this
the
is
energy
important
to be.
So
pure,
I'll go somewhere. I'll do a meditation. I'll ride my bike. I'll come back when I'm ready.
Yeah.
But I will get ready.
Nice. So you're in there pretty much every day and
you're
doing it? Yeah. That's awesome. That's very disciplined.
It is. Yeah. I do it like training to be an athlete.
That's awesome.
But also have freedom of time and space.
Sure. Yeah. So speaking of space, so you, I know, bought a home last year.
I did.
As a single woman artist in Salida.
I did.
Which is great. It's not the cheapest town to live in terms of home prices. And
not at all.
tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, it happened really fast. It was an impulse, of course.
Really? Okay.
I've been watching the housing market since I moved here. So I'm aware of what's available, what prices are. I mean, they've at least tripled since I got here.
Yeah. Were you kicking yourself for not buying when you got here? Was it in due timing then?
It's all perfect.
I love that.
It's all perfect timing. Of course, it would have been nice. Mm-hmm. That would have been a better deal. And this spot is perfect.
Yeah.
And it happened right when I was ready for it. I didn't want to fully commit to a space. It felt heavy. It felt confining somehow. And the moment it felt like freeing and adding to my joy, I did it.
Yeah.
I only looked at 2 places, but and didn't get a realtor. I just got a great inspector and went for it.
Good for you.
Another
to each
huge
their own.
impulse. Yeah.
So, did you? Because where were you living before that? Were you renting? Were you?
I've rented many places in town. Moved around quite a bit.
Okay.
Did some house sitting in the winter.
Okay.
For the last 4 years or so, I was cruising around in my camper van that I built.
Nice.
that was really freeing and fun to not have a space to really clean or take care of or yard work or anything like that.
Yeah, no yard work there.
So that was lovely. And I would house sit in the winter.
Okay.
So it kept me moving. It kept me from, I don't know, there's something about spaces that can stagnate us.
Okay.
Or get us to watch TV or, you're in your house, you have to clean it. If you don't have a house, you're out playing.
Yeah.
So it was more of a lifestyle decision.
That's awesome. And do you feel like that enabled you to purchase the house when you did? Like,
it certainly saved a lot of money. Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Definitely.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it is possible for somebody to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good for you. So are you doing, when we're talking a little bit more about the art community in Salida, to kind of circle back to that, because I think it's important, anybody who's considering, coming here as an artist or even participating in the art community in any way, sounds like you had a positive experience coming here. So talk a little bit more about really the art community and what kind of events you're involved with the art community.
Let's see. We've got Art Walk coming up. Mm-hmm. In the past, it's always been a week or so before Fib Arc or after. I can't remember.
It's July.
Yeah, in the summer. And they decided to move it to next weekend.
Yeah, so mid-October.
Yeah, we're going to try this out, and I think it was a brilliant idea. There's so much happening in the summer, and the feel of Salida right now with kids back in school, and I feel like people are looking for something to do right now.
Yeah.
They've settled back into routines and stuff, and we're here to provide fun.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff is in store, and from your perspective, how are you going to be involved with it?
I love the little mini masterpiece show they do to support funding for Art Walk.
Okay.
That's going to be at the Steam Plant. So I've got a little tiny 4x4-inch piece there. Painting small is so difficult.
I bet.
Let's see. Saturday night, they're going to have a parade going down to Riverside Park. When the parade gets there, I think around 6 to 8, they're going to have a DJ. And I'm going to paint on stage.
Oh, lovely.
I love having an audience.
Oh, you do?
I've done this a lot. And so
the live performance thing.
Yeah. Just all that energy of a crowd and music. And
how fun.
I'm going to paint a jackalope, a 5x5 foot jackalope.
Okay. Awesome. Do you know what date that is? October 12th. Okay. So yeah. Be sure and check that out if you're able to get a good insight into your process. That's cool. And is your studio going to be open then too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
I'll be open all weekend, and there's a lot of other studios doing events. They're all listed on the Art Walk website.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you do the first Fridays or any of the other?
I've made it to half of them this summer.
It's hard every month, right?
It can be. It can be.
But yeah, I like that this community has some good, just a lot of different types of art too. And like you said, it's together, it makes it stronger because, it's not like anyone's copying you, right?
I don't know if they could.
There you go, yeah.
But if they can, they're welcome to.
There you go.
None of this is, I don't own any of this. I use photo references from famous photographers on Instagram. I always get their permission first.
Okay.
But I'm just standing on their shoulders and Carl's shoulders and whoever invented oil paint. None of this is new.
That's true. But, yeah. Yeah, where do you get all of your inspiration? Because it's a lot of animals and stuff like that, right? Is it? Yeah. So where does that all come from?
Instagram.
Okay.
I find photographers and I just said, hey, this is an example of what I do. I'm going to sell the results. What do you think?
Okay.
Use your stuff. And they're like, cool, tag me. Okay. And then they share my stuff. And there's some artists I've been using for 8 years now.
Wow.
I just find whoever posted what in the morning. I go paint that. I use the paint left on my palette and I'm that lazy.
I don't have lazy.
I'm cutting out decisions.
Yeah, there you go. You're
creatively cutting out decisions.
Getting rid of that decision fatigue when you can.
It's a thing.
It is. Yeah. Do you wear the same clothes every day? Do you have to think about it?
Sort of.
Not quite. And one thing that I thought was cool on your website is you say freedom through art. So you've touched a little bit about that because it sounds like you have that. Is that, expand on that a little bit for us?
Gosh, my motivation for having my business is fun, freedom, and return on investment.
Okay.
The fun is doing the thing.
Okay.
And the freedom is there is no right and wrong in art world.
Okay.
In every other aspect of life, there's right and wrong ways to do things, but not in painting. You can't F this up.
Wow.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like the results, like, well, you'll get it next time.
Just do it again.
Yeah. My opinion doesn't matter. That's the freedom, is I don't have to care about the result. I just have to enjoy doing it.
Oh.
And so every time I finish painting, I say, well, I'll get it next time.
Okay. And you just do it all over again?
Yeah. Next.
That's amazing. Well, I love your philosophy. If anybody's interested in your work, where can they find you?
I'm at katiemaherfineart.com. I'm at 119 North F Street, downtown Salida. On Instagram, Facebook, all those fun things. I started a YouTube channel. It's small at the moment, but I'm posting time lapses so you can see me paint the whole thing in 2 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch. I get confused by myself when I watch those. Like, what am I doing?
What was she doing right
there?
What? Yeah. And how do you spell it? You're
Maher.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your insights with us. I like your philosophy of life and for what you bring to the Salida community. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you doing this show.
Absolutely. It's fun. Thanks for listening to the Living in Salida podcast. I'm your host, Monica McCarthy, a realtor who specializes in Salida, Colorado and surrounding areas. If you liked this podcast, please share it with a friend. I'm trying to spread the word, and your help with this is greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review if you're on a platform that allows that. If you're interested in learning more about Salida and surrounding areas, you can go ahead and hop onto my YouTube channel, also called Living in Salida, where I have a ton of videos about the real estate market here, pros and cons about living in the area, and so much more. And lastly, if you or someone you know is interested in being interviewed on this podcast, please email me at livinginsalida@gmail.com and tell me a little bit about yourself and why you think you'd be a good fit for the Living in Salida podcast. I greatly appreciate you listening and have a great day.